right. This morning, we are going to talk about this magical AC cream. When I first started with Soul, I was like, so basically it's a lotion, like an expensive lotion. What's up with that? And I'm going to use it right now. And now I use it for everything and I keep it everywhere in my car, in my purse, in my office, in the kitchen, everywhere. Um, our AC therapeutic cream has 101 and counting uses. So we're going to talk about what makes this so magical today. Okay, so the AC cream was created mainly for the relief of pain and inflammation. It's antimicrobial and skin conditioning. And it has these 7 ingredients. And you guys, like there were some of these, like I was like, I can't even fit all the benefits on the page of some of these. So I only put the benefits of how it pertains to this AC cream because we're obviously not ingesting aloe vera, we're not eating it, right? Or St. John's wort. So I only did stuff for the skin or how you would use the AC cream. So let's dive in arnica. We're going to see lots of pretty flowers today. It is a bright yellow flower. It's kind of similar in appearance to a daisy. And arnica is a perennial herb that grows in Canada, the United States, Europe, and Eastern Asia. It's also known as mountain tobacco, mountain arnica, leopard's bane, and wolf's bane. Homeopathic arnica is a highly diluted form, and it has been used for centuries as an alternative medicine to treat things like hair loss, arthritis, inflammation, bruises, infections, muscle, and joint pain. So as far as pain management goes, arnica is really well known for its anti-inflammatory properties, and it contains a wide array of inflammation-fighting plant compounds, which is believed to help with pain management. In 2014, there was a study that talked about how applying topical arnica gel was found to be as effective as topical ibuprofen as a common pain reliever, reducing osteoarthritis pain and improving physical function. It's also great for bruising. So bruises occur when there are tiny blood vessels that burst to some form of trauma. So that could be from hitting your skin on something, surgery, or something like that. So historically, homeopathic arnica has been used to treat bruises. Hair loss is the one I think is really interesting because I guess I haven't thought to stick this on my head, but I guess you can. Arnica is widely used in homeopathic medicine to promote hair growth, prevent hair loss, and treat dandruff. Arnica is commonly marketed as a homeopathic drug for its effective treatment of osteoarthritis, post-shingles neuralgia, diabetic neuropathy, post-surgical pain, wound healing, and cancer. Obviously, I have a typo there, diabetic neuropathy. So it can be used for, now you can see when we start going through these things, where we get 101 plus and counting uses for this stuff. Okay, next is a calendula. I think I said that correctly. Look how pretty that is. I want to plant that in my garden. It's a flowering plant, also known as a pot marigold. It can be served as a tea or used as an ingredient in various herbal formulations. The extract is derived from both the flower and the leaves. It's packed with antioxidants and has numerous compounds that fight oxidative stress and inflammation in your body. It promotes wound and skin ulcer healing. So you can apply this to your skin in various forms to promote wound and ulcer healing. It has antifungal and antimicrobial properties. So it said something about, oh, I forgot my antibacterial or whatever. And I think it was Corinne's like, just use AC cream. I'm like, I don't know if that's the same as taking my, my hand sanitizer. She's like, no, it is. And it is because of this antifungal and antimicrobial properties and doesn't dry out your skin. It supports oral health, so it can be used to treat oral conditions such as gingivitis, which is chronic inflammation of the gums and the most common oral disease. It's also anti-inflammatory and antimicrobial properties make it an aid for oral health by combating gingivitis and microbial growth. It improves skin health because of its antioxidants and SPF in there. It can reduce skin damage, combat skin aging, and even treat diaper rash. So is that even on the list? I guess we're going to find out because I did list it, but yes, diaper rash cream, you guys. Ask McKatie if she uses it as diaper rash cream. May relieve sore nipples during nursing. When applied topically, calendula can treat the cracked nipples during breastfeeding. And of course, it's not harmful or anything to you or baby. It can work as a face toner, reducing acne breakouts due to the antimicrobial properties again. It can also help with muscle fatigue. So it can help reduce exercise-induced muscle soreness. So aloe vera, and usually most people know a lot about aloe vera. You guys, like right now, I'm loving watching videos of watching people process the aloe vera, right? I don't know, I just find it like super soothing and really cool to watch them like cut it up and get all this white gooey stuff out. I'm like, I want to go do that myself. I know, random, but that's what I want to do. But in general, most people know that aloe vera helps soothe sunburns because it has cooling properties and anti-inflammatory properties. It's one of the most used natural remedies for sunburn or burnt skin. You can apply it as a protective layer, and it helps also retain moisture. It's rich in antioxidants and minerals that boost the healing process. Okay, helps moisturize the skin. So unlike other store-bought moisturizers, aloe vera, when used as a moisturizing gel, doesn't leave a greasy film on the face and skin. It does just the opposite. It can actually help unclog pores and soften the skin. It can also be used as an aftershave treatment. This is because aloe vera helps to keep the skin hydrated and heals burns by razor and smaller nicks and cuts. So it helps treat and also helps treat really dry skin. It boosts the healing of wounds. It's highly beneficial when you have burns, not just from a burn, but also a cut or another injury. It boosts the healing process because it reduces the time of healing. And this is especially important for 1st-degree and 2nd-degree burns. It also helps to speed up healing of cell reproduction as much as 8 times. And aloe vera is also known to penetrate the epidermis, the outer layer of the skin, faster than water does. So my nephew, a couple of years ago, they had gone to a friend's house or whatever, and he got on their treadmill. He was little, he was only like 3.5, and fell and on the treadmill, and it went on his arm and burned his arm. Like I think he got like, I can't remember, his 1st or 2nd-degree burns on his arm. And so the first thing I did was actually take the AC cream over there, and my sister put that on his arm every day. So he was having to go back to Children's Hospital and do checks or whatever, but he said he was super impressed with how quickly that wound healed. And he even said he's definitely going to have a scar. You can barely see anything on his arm now, but I'm convinced it was the AC cream. So he asked for his Aunt Tiffy's magic cream. Aloe vera also helps with anti-skin aging. So this is why so many of us can also use this as our anti-aging lotion, right? You don't need some $70 moisturizer. You can use this on your skin. You're going to see how most of these ingredients in here actually have anti-aging properties. This also helps reduce infection and acne. So if you suffer from acne, it's going to help with gentle cleansing, and the antimicrobial properties treat pimples without causing damage to the skin. It's also an antiseptic that protects against bacteria. Right, so witch hazel is a plant with powerful medicinal properties that can be used in a variety of ways. Most often applied to the skin and the scalp, witch hazel is widely known for its ability to ease inflammation and soothe sensitive skin. Witch hazel can be safely applied to your skin several times a day, and small amounts can be ingested orally with minimal risk and side effects. Witch hazel, like I was having some serious skin issues, and it includes my scalp. Now that I say that out loud, my scalp is itchy. And so they wanted to prescribe this ridiculous medication to put on my scalp. And it was actually my sister that's like, just tried the witch hazel, and you could buy it. It looks like it's like in a liquid form. And so I just started putting that on my scalp instead, and it really helped alleviate the itching in my scalp. So one thing it does is it helps reduce skin irritation. So skin redness, and it can relieve that, and also for like itchy, irritated, sensitive skin. Also relieves inflammation. Can treat hemorrhoids. Witch hazel is often used to reduce the itching, redness, pain, bleeding, and swelling associated with hemorrhoids. More study, okay. Fights acne. Witch hazel acts as an astringent to help shrink your pores, soothe your skin, and reduce inflammation. And I will add to that without drying it out. It's something that I frequently just keep in my bathroom because it's just a natural thing, like just to clean, when I get acne or whatever, as an astringent. Protects against skin damage. Witch hazel has compounds that can prevent skin cancer growth and protect against skin damage. It also wards off infection. Studies have shown that witch hazel has antiviral properties, which can be useful against certain types of viral infections. So next we have olive leaf. So olive oil comes from the actual olive, but we're using the compounds inside the leaf, okay? It's anti-inflammatory. It has anti-cancer properties, antimicrobial activity, antiviral activity, inhibits oxidation of low density lipoproteins, which is the LDL. Well, that's, I guess, if you're taking it internally, because that's the LDL, that's the bad cholesterol. But used topically on the skin, it soothes an irritated skin. It can promote healthy skin while protecting against various environmental stressors, including the sun. When applied topically, olive leaf extract will also provide the skin with nourishment as it soothes and calms the skin itself. In this case, a product containing olive oil leaf extract may help against the weather, reducing overall irritation. So when it says against the weather, so like, let's say, the first thing that comes to mind for me is like, it can get really, really cold in the winter, or like we get snowstorms where the wind is blowing, and it can just totally like really, really quickly like chap your skin or just make it burn. It can protect against that, especially if you apply it before you go out. It protects against harmful UV rays, so it can be used to protect you from the sun. Protects against fungus and bacteria, has antibacterial, antifungal properties. It can kill nearly all. In a recent study, olive leaf extract killed nearly all of the bacteria tested, alleviates pain and discomfort, calms irritation, and facilitates healing. So when you have a wound, it calms that irritation with that wound, and heals it. That goes for a wound, acne, skin irritations. So MSM is methyl sulfonyl methane. It's a biological sulfur found in plants. So it's organic and naturally occurring. So I know when you see this name, you think, is that a chemical? It is not. It can be found in plants, soil, fruit, vegetable, fish, poultry, eggs, and milk, and even in the human body. MSM aids in the formation of collagen and connective tissue health. It's been used to treat osteoarthritis and joint pain because it impacts the immune system and facilitates normal cellular activity, which lowers the inflammation response and contributes to swelling and stiffness. It treats skin problems, including rosacea, allergies, and wounds. Because it helps you hold on to that precious collagen and keratin, because sulfur is required for the production of these useful compounds. I think this is, maybe if Chris is on here, she can correct me. I think this is another name for like sulfur, but it's like it's not, I think it is, but I could be wrong. It also helps lower muscle pain and spasms. It helps repair the rigid fibrous tissue cells in our muscles that become broken down during exercise, therefore helping to prevent them from swelling in prolonged periods of time. I have thought for years that I've had like early arthritis in my hands, which is probably why I use this as a, let me see. Yes, Chris said yes, it is also another name for sulfur, which is probably why I use this all the time on my hands. And it's actually helped a lot. I used to see a chiropractor that would adjust my wrists and my hands to help with that. So that's probably why I use that a lot. All the time without even knowing it. People used to tell me I'd go live and they're like, what is that lotion you're always putting on? I don't even realize. I'm just like, oh, my hands need it. Just doing the right thing. So St. John's wort, we talk a lot about St. John's wort when we talk about our adaptable, and it's in there and what it does for the body. But St. John's wort can also be used topically to help with so many different things. It's an antioxidant, anti-inflammatory, anti-cancer, antimicrobial properties. It stimulates the growth of keratinocytes, which is basically epidermal cells. It helps with eczema, wounds, minor burns, hemorrhoids. Because of its antibacterial properties, it helps also fight the inflammation. So when it's applied topically to the skin, it can relieve symptoms associated with minor wounds and skin irritation. So there's also some other complementary ingredients in here. The passion flower is used typically for burns, hemorrhoids, inflammation, pain, also used to calm the mind and help with sleep and anxiety disorders. Chamomile, and to add to that, our skin is our biggest organ, right? So whenever you're putting this on the skin, it's not just helping the skin. Like it's going to soak into your body and and you're going to get other benefits from it as well. It also contains that chamomile, which is used for an antioxidant and anti-inflammatory properties. Comfrey contains allotonin, which is used to increase the smoothness of the skin. It acts as an anti-irritant, anti-inflammatory, and a general skin protectant. Okay, Tilia cordata is used as a skin conditioner to help address acne, burns, freckles, rashes, and wrinkles. Safflower oil, sorry, is included because it's a non-greasy texture as a moisturizer, leaving your skin smooth, soft, and supple. Jojoba is a powerful antimicrobial, antibacterial ingredient that helps moisturize the skin and protect it and support acne care. And of course, natural vitamin E, I shouldn't say of course, but finally vitamin E, because it helps support premature aging, wrinkles, scars, brown spots, and is healthy for your cuticles. So 101 uses, pain and inflammation is definitely on there. Even with the pain and the inflammation, you can even combine it with one of our oils to intensify it a little bit if you needed it for, if it just wasn't doing the trick, adding it with an essential oil will help take it deeper and intensify. Oh, we'll get to the 102 uses here in a minute. Wound care. applying this, it's like this can replace that Neosporin in your cabinet for all sorts of different things. I remember once Cameron had reached up and grabbed a cookie off the tray. He was kind of little, and I was like, it burnt his little wrist. And I was like, okay, I just took those out of the oven. But I just applied that on his wrist and then put a Band-Aid on there and took the burning and stinging away and also healed that up pretty well. Also things like bug bites. I hate bug bites. Bugs seem to really like me, so this really helps with bug bites. And skin treatments. So you name it, it can help with this. So I was having a conversation the other day with Mindy, and she was like, well, how in the world does it help with moles? And I was like, moles is on there? So I had to look it up, and there was a couple ingredients that actually can help reduce the size of a mole, possibly even like eliminate it altogether. And what I've done, like sometimes I get like little skin tags or whatever. I have one right now on my neck. I literally take this AC cream. Sometimes I put an oil with it. I put it on a little Band-Aid and slap it on there for 2 or 3 days, and then they're gone. So it helps with a lot of that. I've used it both. Mike and Cameron have some eczema. They'll put it on there for their eczema. It does help with itchy scalp. So I just am always worried like my hair is going to get greasy, but I have used it when my scalp has been so bad I can't even stand it. I'm like, it's fine. I'll just wash my hair the next day or maybe, whatever. But it can be used for lots of different things. And of course, we also like to call this our relationship cream because this is our 102nd use. So I had to include that on there. So our key benefits for AC cream is it's anti-inflammatory. Many of the main ingredients contain anti-inflammatory properties, antimicrobial, which we've pretty much heard from every ingredient, pain relief, helps soothe muscles, arthritis, swelling, and inflammation. Can be used as a skin conditioner, so you can use this in place of a lotion or moisturizer, and it really helps with wound healing. So this retails for $21.95. I had to include this picture because, somebody else was asking me the other day, and I was like, like how we can make a mask. They secret are like, what do you mean a mask? So I can't remember off the top of my head what all is in here, but I know it's the AC cream, the omegas, the Ometox, and maybe an essential oil, and it's a great mask to put on your skin. So, as always, if you want to come off mute and share any of your testimonials that you have using AC cream, I've shared a couple. That would be awesome.
I will share. I actually had a member that was in, I want to say Colombia. They were on vacation and she was getting off of a boat. And am I frozen or no?
No.
I don't know. My camera all of a sudden on its own stopped working. Not sure what that was about. But anyway, she was on a boat and she was going from the dock in the boat, like in between, and she fell. And she was so black and blue and purple and bruised. And that bruising was there. I saw some pictures on Facebook. So I had said to her, get your Flex AC cream out and start applying it on your leg to help with that bruising. She's like, I didn't realize that it did that. So she did do that and went to her orthopedic doctor about 3 days later. And the orthopedic was like, how in the world did you get rid of your bruising that quickly? Like he was like taken aback because he couldn't even believe the difference in just a 3-day period. So much so that he was like, can you give me the information on that cream and what it is? Because that's amazing. And if you've ever seen me share, hey guys, if you've ever seen me share like the pictures in my groups and stuff of the leg with the bruising, that was her. But it was pretty radical what she experienced. With the cream. So that's awesome.
I can try to share mine. Hopefully I won't get interrupted too bad. So as most of you saw this weekend, Presley had a series of unfortunate events. She got a yard Yahtzee dice to the head, a wooden one. And then the next evening she fell and I don't know what she did. She must have face planted and without using any arms. I honestly, I thought we were going to go get stitches because I thought she bit through her lip, but her lip, sorry, her lip like swelled up so fast. And it's funny because Seth had just said to me before the yard Yahtzee, he was like, why did you have to bring your whole soul pharmacy? And I was like, well, you never know what's going to happen, right? And so now he thinks like it was a bad omen that I caused it. But anyway, we put that AC cream on her forehead and her lip right away. And the next day, her lip was still pretty swollen, but it looked a ton better. And now, like, it's just like a basic lip with, you know, just the road rash under her nose. And as for the bruise, like, the swelling has completely gone down and the bruise is starting to fade. And I've just been trying to be consistent and putting it on like 3 or 4 times a day. So I don't know, it's pretty crazy stuff. I love it. And I also use it in all of their belly buttons with their ProBio IQ, like all the time. They get sick and it like right away, because I swear to you, it stops it in its tracks.
Does anybody use it in a way that most people would be like, what? You can use it for that? I will tell you that I was getting really bad. I'm going to say was, and it's going to stop, bloody noses last week. And so I called Chris and Allie. I talked to Allie. She told me to put it up my nose. So I've been putting it on a little Q-tip and putting it up my nose to help heal those blood vessel calculate, you know, because it was bad, you guys. One day I had 4 in one day. It was ridiculous. So you can stick it up your nose.
I used it for like the canker sores inside your mouth. When Mulaney gets them, it's like a detox form for her from the chemo, I think, or something. But we put it on a Q-tip and she's always afraid it's going to sting, but now she just comes and asks for it. So it's perfect.
The other stuff does sting, but that one doesn't. Yeah.
I just love that my kids like it and they are okay with it. So the whole battle of, you know, when they have a boo-boo and you're trying to put something on it and they no, and they scream and then it's just like a terrible, terrible time for both them and me. This stuff they call their special cream and they have no problem putting it on and they're good with it. And I like it best for sunburns. And of course, the one time I had a sunburn last week, I ran out. I mean, I did a pic of me cutting the top off to try to get everything out of the inside because I was trying to help myself, but I had already used it all on them. But
as soon as you think this is gone, always cut it open. There's plenty more in there.
I know that trick.
Of course, it's safe for pets.
Mm-hmm.
Totally safe for pets.
That's what I was going to say is for some reason, my dog has an affiliation for AC cream. If we happen to leave it out on the counter or on the coffee table, she will literally chew and lick it. And I thought that was just her. And then we were watching my father-in-law's dog and she did the same exact thing. So there must be something in there that the dog wants or knows is good for them. I don't know what it is. I'm sure it's one of the thousands of things. But I was going to mention we were in the Dominican Republic and Deacon was wearing a sleeveless shirt and we didn't realize how quickly he'd get sunburned. And he literally had blisters that were this big on his shoulders. Like it was one of the saddest things I've ever seen. And we put AC cream on it and it did take some time to heal, but we kept putting it on there. He has no scarring, he has no sensitivity, he has nothing. So that was one blister story. And our second blister story was my oldest daughter was using the hot glue gun and it was on the ground and she stepped on it just for whatever reason. And she had a giant blister on the bottom of her foot. Once again, we used the AC cream and it helped not only with the pain, but no scar, no nothing. So apparently we're prone to blisters over here, but literally we take it everywhere with us.
This is actually one of the things that when I've had one-on-one clients that work with me for at least 3 months, I put this in the mail for them as like a little thank you gift. And then I include that 101 uses just as a thank you for working with me and trusting me with your health. I've also done this for clients that, you know, like members that have been with me and they consistently order all the time. So it just is a kind of just a little thank you, especially if they've never tried it before. Like I'll call and say, hey, this month we throw that into their box from me. And then I'll send them a little handwritten note that just says, hey, I put a little surprise for you in your box to thank you for being such a loyal customer. I mean, I have one that orders for herself. She gives it to her kids. She's actually not ordering for her dad. So it's a pretty good size order every single month. And so, I mean, you know, that's sometimes a little nice, like you've been a client for you know, you've ordered religiously every single month for a year. Here's a little thank you from me. I've also done that because this other friend of mine I was talking to, she's literally was like one of my first members and still orders consistently. So then as the roller balls came out, I'm like, okay, well, this year she's going to get a roller ball. And at Christmas, I did give gifts for all of my one-on-one clients and people that had basically been a member and ordered most of that year. And so they either got AC cream or one of these. Some of them got both, I will tell you that. So, and some of them had never used the AC cream, and so then now they order it regularly. So you can kind of think about that as it makes a really nice gift, not just for, you know, members or clients, but, you know, teachers' gifts and other little things like that. Put in that little slip that says what all it's used for. Yes. Whatever that little cutie said.
Sorry. I was actually gonna hop off. And just say yesterday we were sitting in the car and she saw the AC cream and she pointed to her leg and said, Mama boo boo, and tried to grab the AC cream out of its little pocket. And so she knows that's what she uses it for. So it's nice that she's learning too.
Are you a smart little girl, Oakland? You are a smart little girl, huh? Yes, you are. Yes, you are.
It is. And Tiffany, you did mention diaper rash, which it's amazing for diaper rash. So good. I also gave it to my daughter-in-law because she was freaking out about stretch marks being pregnant too. So I gave that to her for that. But you can also, like when you were mentioning teacher gifts, like Solflex, Epsom salt in the oils, make an amazing teacher gift for like under $5 each. So there's so
It's
much.
like a body scrub, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's so awesome. So awesome.
Wait, what do you mean? How is it under $5?
Because
Well,
how many you
don't
can make.
use the whole thing.
Yeah.
Use part of this, some
Oh,
Epsom salts and
mix
some
it
oils,
together
and make a little body scrub. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
And then they order more from you after. For $12.
I'm going to go ahead and stop it.